Hello there, you're watching the Sterling Broadcasting Corporation SLBC. Welcome to News Hour. I am Adam Asila. Top stories in this edition of the news. The Commissioner of the Anti-Corruption Commission presents the ACC Annual Report of 2020 to President Julius Maada at State House. The European Union commences training for members of Parliament and committee clerks on the budget process and the review of the 2020 appropriation processes. And today is the International Day of the Girl Child. SLBC covers the importance of ICT for girls in Sierra Leone and all the stories circulating around the theme of this year, Digital Generation, Our Generation. Well, all the stories then will lined up in this edition of the news. But as always, we start first with our corona preventive message.
You see where them people here wear the mask then fine? Well, now so you say for wear your mask. Cover your nose and you must all them where they near other person.
Welcome back from that corona preventive message. Now for the news in detail. The Commissioner of the Anti-Corruption Commission ACC has presented the annual report of 2020 to President Julius Maada during a short ceremony at State House. The Commission every year presents its annual report to the Presidency about their ongoing activities. Hawa Musiri reports.
On behalf of my team, starting with the Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Ruby, the Coordinator of Operations, Mr. Kwemayama, the Director of Public Education, Mr. Patrick and the Public Relations Officer, and all other directors, managers, team, and staff who are not here. I hereby now present this 2020 annual report to you for and on behalf of the
Presenting the report, ACC Board Francis Ben Kaifala disclosed as prescribed for in Section 19, Subsection 1 of the Anti-Corruption Act of 2008 as amended that the team is in the office of the President with senior management to present the report on their activities for the year 2020. Even with COVID-19, according to Ben Kaifala, they continue to do their work for the people of Sierra Leone, thanking President Bio for his support and expressing that they are appreciative of it.
Good afternoon, as required by law, we have presented to you a report of the activities of the Corruption Commission on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone. The report this year contains all our activities, mainly what we did throughout 2020, the successes, the challenges, and the vision for this year, which is already.
Receiving the Commission's annual report, President Julius Maada thanked members of the Anti-Corruption Commission for what he called a statutory requirement by presenting its annual report, adding that Sierra Leone is being recognized internationally for the tremendous work that the ACC was doing. President Bio therefore encouraged the Commissioner and his team to continue the fight, which he said was very difficult but worth doing for the benefit of the country.
You are only beginning, but you've made a very good mark in the world already. Sierra Leone was renowned for corruption. Today, our effort, your effort as a commission, has been acknowledged around the world. And when I travel, I'm proud to say that the work you have done has gained international acceptance.
The President commended the ACC board for his great work that has been acknowledged around the world. He therefore encouraged him to continue on that path. President Julius Maada further said that the work of the ACC was important because it instilled fear into the citizenry who engaged in corruption with impunity. Therefore, the ACC should work even harder.
I want you to continue on that path. It's an extremely difficult job, but that's the only way we are going to save this nation. We must instill fear, we must punish those who don't keep to the rules, and as I've always said, it is a difficult fight, but it's a fight we must fight. But It's a fight we must win.
The Sierra Leone Anti-Corruption Commission, commonly known as ACC, is an independent agency of the Sierra Leone government that investigates and prosecutes corrupt cases in Sierra Leone. The ACC is supervised by the Sierra Leone Ministry of Justice. SABC TV News Eye in Freetown, our Mosiri reporting.
The European Union is working with the Parliament as part of its technical support to the governance sector in Sierra Leone to consolidate electoral and democratic reforms for improved political dialogue in the House of Parliament. The European Union has commenced training for members of Parliament and committee clerks on changes in the budget appropriation process and a review of the 2020 appropriation processes. Emmanuel Samura witnessed the training in Committee Room 1 in Parliament.
Members of Parliament and committee clerks were in attendance to be further trained and equipped with the necessary skills to scrutinize budget and ensure effective management of public resources. The need for this training arises from reforms introduced in the previous year's budget appropriation process.
To critically look at content of the appropriation questionnaire and the interrelationship of the different sections, and also to look at the technical things they need to focus on in reviewing the content of the questionnaire. Additionally, we'll look at the challenges and successes of the last year's session, and also look at the role of the Parliamentary Budget Office in the national budget process.
The European Union is keen on developing critical institutional capacity, improving infrastructure of the House of Parliament, and improving its working environment, technology and accessibility.
The importance of parliamentary scrutiny of the national budget and ensuring that the national budgetary planning and expenditure is sound and meaningful to the development of the country and the life of every Sierra Leonean cannot be overemphasized. Neither can be the critical role played by the Parliamentary Budget Officer.
Deputy Chairman of Finance Committee, Honorable Moses Edwin, said the preparation of the budget is the role of the executive and the approval of the budget lies with the legislature, adding that such learning engagement would add to his committee's financial prowess.
Engagements of this kind will not only give learning opportunities to reflect on last year's sub-appropriation process, but also enhance our skills to be effective and efficient in scrutinizing and approving the state budget.
At the end of the sessions, the Director General of Parliament, Finda Fraser, expressed hopes to see a refined Parliament with good financial output.
Improvement of MP skills and techniques in reviewing the appropriation questionnaire, a better understanding of the role of Parliament in the national budget process, especially for very long staff and other guests. Enhancement of more coordinated work relationships with other critical stakeholders of the national budget process.
The training is part of the European Union's technical support to the governance sector in Sierra Leone. Emmanuel Samoa, SLBC, Freetown.
International Day of the Girl Child acknowledges the importance, power and potential of adolescent girls by encouraging more opportunities for them. The day began as part of the international non-governmental organization Plan International campaign Because I Am a Girl. The campaign was designed to nurture girls, especially in developing countries, promote their rights and bring them out of poverty. The day is celebrated annually on the 11th of October. The main aims of the day are to promote girls' empowerment and fulfillment of their human rights, while also highlighting the challenges that girls face. Each year, International Day of the Girl Child has its own theme. For this year, the theme is Digital Generation, Our Generation. Our Barry takes a look at the importance of ICT for girls in Sierra Leone.
Junior and senior secondary school girls of the Annual Memorial Secondary School researching homework given by class teachers. This computer lab was set up by SD Electronics Foundation for the girls and community people. The girls access it during the daytime and people from the community use it in the evening. Some of the girls have been using computers since they were 8.
I've been using the computer for about 3 years now, since I was 9 years old. Right now I'm 12 years. In my primary school, between nursery and preparatory school, we used to have computer classes. They teach us how to use the computer and they'll learn us some things that we don't know. If I need to do research, like if they give us an assignment in class, I'll use the computer, I'll do my research, and then I'll submit my assignment. I use the computer to study, to do research about things I don't know. I use it to do my assignment, like going to the internet. I use it to watch movies. I also use it to play games and all stuff. As we grow, technology is improving, and it is really essential and needful for every girl to learn computer.
Technology and the internet can be an excellent enabler for girls, but the lack of opportunities, skills and the fear of discrimination prevents many from using and creating digital tools and online content. To achieve gender equality, girls and young women need equal access to technology, digital training and safety online.
The root of the matter is that girls are not encouraged to go to school. The root of the matter is girls are not encouraged to finish school. The root of the matter is girls are not pushed. They are not given, sort of the encouragement, the space for them to really go to school. And for several reasons. And we're addressing that bit by bit. So before you get to technology, you need to really start from the root of the matter. Part of addressing that is the gender bill, because by having the gender empowerment bill, basically we're getting girls to see themselves. When you see yourself, then you can see that, okay, I can strive to get this. There's possibility for me, so therefore I should overcome the obstacles. I should push a little bit more. That's what we're not seeing. We're seeing high rates of teenage pregnancies, and the boys continuing, but the girls stop. They stop. You go and interview the girls. Most of them are discouraged because there is nothing out there. So the next thing for me is to get married. The next thing for me is to hook a guy that, I can get married to. So those are the barriers we've got to overcome before we get to saying, oh, let's push the numbers of girls that are in IT. So we've got to have the girls stay longer in school. We have to have the girls, really focused on education, determined to continue, determined to stay in school, and determined to have a career, regardless of all the temptations that are around. And that's really what we're doing.
Girls and women often have less access to technology and the internet compared to boys and men. Particularly in developing countries, girls and women struggle to afford technology and internet access. Stereotypes around technology being for boys and fear of being discriminated against stop girls from using digital tools.
The Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education is enforcing that ICT is taught in schools. To help foster this, there are schools presently that will gain the access to having computer schools in their various schools. Like we have the experimental school at Otloko de Kadise and also Matora. The project will commence, and schools like Annual are also having ICT in their schools. And by next year, we are going to make this open to all the schools so that they teach technology in the schools, especially computer, so that they will become literate in computer.
School is is often the first place where children are introduced to technology as well as learning literacy and numeracy skills to make the most of these digital tools. Therefore, it is important that girls have equal access to learning relevant technical skills and digital literacy in school and through training programs to take advantage of technology and digital tools.
Adolescence is a critical point in every person's life. It determines the trajectory of girls' lives, which is why caring for girls in their youth benefits all. When girls are educated and empowered, families are better off. The cycle of poverty is broken and economies are strengthened.
So Girls Plus, essentially, we work with young adolescent girls who are pregnant. We encourage them to go to school as per government's policy that if you are pregnant and you want to go to school and you are able to go to school, you should go to school. And after, again, you have your baby, you are supposed to come to school. So as Girls Plus, initially, we went out to identify girls in different districts, pregnant girls, and then we follow them, or we follow up on them. We make sure they are okay and now they've given birth, and the other stages for them to go back to school. It's very important for them to go back to school. As you know, education is everything. When you have education, you'll be able now to identify what you want to do and what you want to be. So we've been able to identify these girls, and then we take them back to school so that they'll be able to empower themselves and the nation.
Technology can be a powerful tool for girls' voices to become even louder and go even farther. When women and girls have access to the internet, they have the opportunity to start new businesses, sell products to new markets, find better paid jobs, and access education as well as health and financial services. In the face of the COVID-19 pandemic, this takes on new importance. If women do not have access to the internet, they are unable to access vital health information along with education and employment.
And at this day, one of the things we're really passionate about is creating a space where females and female children would occupy. So with that, we're very intentional in terms of when we design our initiatives to ensure there's sometimes 60-40, looking at if there's a provision to be made for male or female. We try to ensure that females are provided equal opportunity with the different projects and initiatives that we design.
The future seems like a bright one for the girls of Sierra Leone, with pending projects from different organizations which the girls can take advantage of. With technology playing a role in all kinds of careers, from art and history to law, primary teaching and graphic design, learning tech skills at a young age will set girls up for economic independence. And the ICT sector needs more girls and women.
Technology can be a powerful tool for girls to become activists and lead change on issues that affect them. Social media platforms, for instance, allow activists to reach a wide audience and organize actions towards common causes. Reporting for SRBC, Hawabari, Freetown.
Girls, including those living in marginalized communities, have begun to break barriers posed by stereotypes and exclusion. In commemoration of the International Day of the Girl Child, Julian Kurma gives us a report on how young girls have preferred their stance in combating gender-based violence.
Technology is a good tool to end sexual and gender-based violence through radio and television sensitization. Mobile communication has also been a fast way of tracing victims and to recover. Women and girls who are victims of touch usually go to a remote center or hospital to do scanning, and by so doing, the conflict may be easily captured.
commemoration of the International Day of the Girl Child brought together girls and teachers from 4 schools to discuss ways to provide equal rights for girl child.
And at times I advise them based on my own life experience. Yes, because our own days, we are not for teenage, so all of those things that we are teaching them now. So normally, I tell them about my own story, and I also give them some of the disadvantages, some of the challenges that have come across, and I also make them feel confidence in their skin. I make them feel proud that they are appreciated and they are loved.
Lila Eaton is the project manager at Rainbow Initiative. She explained the significance of the International Girl Child Day.
So Rainbow took up that initiative so that they can come and commemorate with the rest of the world, so that we can hold hands with the girls to ensure that their voices are heard, their rights are talked about, they're empowered with the knowledge. And this year's theme is Digital Generation, Our Generation. This is basically because we know that digitally people are growing, the world is growing, but I find that the girls are less privileged to handle devices, to be engaged in the devices, just as you had when we were interacting with the girls, and we found out that very few of them get access to these digital devices. So we want them to use the digital world to empower themselves, to use them in the rightful way, to be heard, to amplify things to do with girls.
The International Day of the Girl Child is observed annually on the 11th October, a day set by the United Nations to urge global community to embolden gender equality impacts. SLBC News, Julian Kuruma.
In marking the International Day of the Girl Child, Goma Valley Water Company, together with the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs, has distributed dignity kits for girls' safe menstrual hygiene in the Western area under the Freetown Wash and Aquatic Environment Revamping Project at the Government Secondary School, Kingstown, launched by the Deputy Minister of Water Resources. The project, designed to improve on water supply and sanitation in the Western area, touched on a significant issue for the health and well-being of girls. Ibrahim Samura reports.
The Freetown Wash and Aquatic Environment Revamping Project, implemented by the Goma Valley Water Company, is geared towards improving access to water supply by 15% and sanitation by 7% to support wash services in the capital. It would be implemented alongside with the Office of the First Lady, wherein her office would distribute more than 1,000 plus usable menstrual hygiene kits to female pupils in the Western area. The project is expected to revamp the aquatic environment through afforestation, tree planting, improved monitoring of water resources, and introduction of integrated urban water management.
Total cost of this program, called the Freetown Wash and Aquatic Environment Revamping Project, is $192 million US. When this project is completed, there will be increased water supply to Freetown. There will be less sanitation and improved waste disposal facilities. The waste disposal facility we have at Kingstown, which we normally call Bome, will be relocated to a new place.
At the official launch of the project on the International Day of the Girl Child, dozens of pupils from 8 schools in the Western area received reusable dignity kits, and it was believed this would help the pupils address the several challenges of menstrual health they were faced with before this intervention by the country's First Lady.
Hygiene practices is not just limited to availability and use of the dignity kits or the menstrual pad. Stay healthy to prevent infection. We entail taking your bath regularly, at least twice a day, shaving your pubic area and underpit, frequent changing of your pads, 2 to 3 times a day, changing of your pants properly and washing them properly, allowing it to dry in open air.
Deputy Minister for Water Resources, Nimatulai Bachang, underscored the importance of the project, noting that the project resonates with one of the government's flagship programs to provide and increase access to water for Sierra Leoneans.
This project looking at water and sanitation, the project itself decided to work very closely with the Office of the First Lady. You would agree with me that Her Excellency the First Lady has been working tremendously with our girls in this country in terms of prevention of gender-based violence for our girls, in terms of making sure, as I said earlier, we retain our girls in school so that as they will be able to be at par with their male counterparts in this country.
Director of Gender, Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs, Charles Vande, and Councillor Madinatu Kamara, Chairperson for Water and Public Utility, Freetown City Council, said since inception of the project, they have been working closely with the Goma Valley Water Company. They said in the dry season, access to water for many schools in the western area was a challenge, but this project would help cushion the water shortage in the western area. The Freetown Wash and Aquatic Environment Revamping Project would last for 5 years, and funding is being provided by 7 donors, including the government. Abraham Samura, Freetown.
In celebrating the Girl Child Day Worldwide, Girls Empowerment Network Sierra Leone, an organization working to promote girls' issues in the country, has engaged girls drawn from different schools in the Western Rural District to enlighten them on the relevance of self-awareness in the pursuit of their education, as it is in line with the global theme for this year's celebration, Digital Generation, Our Generation. The session was held at the CKC Church Kankan, Kisi Town, Waterloo, where Aminata Fofana compiled those reports.
Country Director of the Girls Empowerment Network, Matthew Kanu, said celebrating the day through such engagement with the girls is relatively new in the rural districts. Most of the girls, he said, were not aware on the importance of the day, therefore making it appropriate as an organization working to promote girls' issues to organize the tutorial for them. He said most challenges faced by girls emanate from their households, and as a result, some of them have embedded into the culture of silence, even though they may face sexual harassment at schools. Girls were therefore enlightening on their role to protect themselves from harassment by speaking up boldly as a start for the complete eradication of girls' harassment, especially in schools and communities.
Today we are celebrating it because we consider the girls, in order for them to gear up their standard, especially in terms of education, we gather them here for them to fully aware that today is the International Day of the Girl Child. Most of them are not fully aware of this kind of day. So as an organization, we deem it fit that we need to establish it and bring it to their notice that they have the potential to speak for their boldness and make positive change. When this particular issue of it starts today, so they will become at the end of the day valuable man of substance.
Executive TV producer of SLBC, Salma Taba, cautioned girls to be focused on their education as they are the agents to change a nation. She said poverty can only be eradicated in families when girls dedicate their time to their academics and use the internet for educational benefits. She also advised authorities with reference to the education sector in the rural districts to ensure they monitor some of the schools for proper management to strengthen girls' education. The girls were pleased to be part of the awareness conference as they are now enlightened on their duties to protect themselves.
I feel pleased, and it's an opportunity to be in this program to learn so many things that I have not yet heard. And as a girl child, I'm pleased to celebrate with others and honorable people in our midst. I want the government to come in our aid and sensitize our teachers on how to teach us, find particular topics for them to teach us so that when we go for our external exams, we will use those notes to study, because some teachers don't finish the syllabus, and that is a great problem affecting us.
Feel good about the play, the poems, what they told us, especially that nurse woman, Ali, pregnancy is not good for girls, especially young girls. When they are pregnant. If some of them are not able to give birth for themselves, they do operation.
All authorities in attendance, including police, medical personnel, and a representative from the MBSSE Western Rural Area, tendered their commitment to support girls' education in the district and urged parents and community leaders to ensure they protect girls in their homes and communities. SLBC News, Aminata Fufana.
Mental health is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities and can cope with the normal stresses of life. To ensure that such is implemented, the Center for Coordination of Youth Activities organized a policy dialogue to raise awareness on mental health issues in the country and commemorate World Mental Health Day over the weekend. As this year's theme states, mental health is an unusual world. Esther Sako was part of the dialogue in our reports.
And now
Mental health has become an issue of national concern affecting many youths. Such people may be discriminated against by family members and society as a whole. According to the Mental Health Coordinator, Ministry of Health and Sanitation, Kadiatu Savage, people who undergo mental health issues need care from family members, and while medication should serve as the last option. The Ministry of Health, however, is working to tackle issues of mental health.
Mental health is one of the ministry's priority. This is why Ministry of Health and Sanitation has focused their priorities on systems and getting policies in place. As I'm talking now, we have the Mental Health Strategic Plan and Policy, which was launched last year. And then we are also reviewing the 1902 Lunacy Act. We've gone through the process of consultative meeting countrywide, and we've also got stakeholders meeting in Freetown.
Mental health issues vary as they can happen in different forms, ranging from sleeping disorder, eating disorder, drug abuse, and even post-traumatic experiences. Dr. Jusu Matia, acting medical superintendent, Sierra Leone Psychiatric Teaching Hospital, said the issue of mental health among youths is on the increase.
Destroy their homes, they sell all their properties, they steal people's properties just in an attempt to acquire the drugs that they are taking. So it is causing a lot of problems. And with the increased awareness that we are raising now, the efforts of all of us, we are going to start seeing more cases trooping into the hospital and to people at the centers where they can seek care. So it means we need a more concerted effort. We need a larger workforce.
In ensuring that the contributing factor to mental illness are controlled, the Ministry of Youth Affairs, along with civil societies, highlighted the contribution to ensure that youths across the country don't resort to activities that might lead to mental health issues.
Strives to ensure that it creates that kind of platform for young people. So the National Youth Service is there to ensure that I think after the graduation, there's no job 1 year, 2 years, you are qualified to apply as long as you are within the age bracket of 18 to 35 years. And so that is most of us, if we ever have been formal employment, some of us will volunteer, and some of us will have to go into internship programs. And because of the character that we manifested during serving that particular agency or department or ministry or NGO or as the case may be, we became permanent at those ministries or NGOs because both the private and the public sector. So I think the government, the Ministry of Youth Affairs is actually working towards that, and that is just one of the bases if we are to talk about helping to reduce mental health issues.
Health is underinvested. We have advocated since August. We have been going around this country as Mental Health Coalition. We met with city councils, we met with local government leaders. None of them is willing to put mental health in their budget, which they were talking about, which they are going to work on in this, either they are working on in September or they are about to work on in this October. And we need mental health to be invested in. We need more trained mental health nurses. We need more psychiatrists. We need therapists. We need government to pay attention to mental health.
Mental health issues involve the society as a whole and can be genetic or environmental. But raising awareness on the dangers of neglecting people struggling with their mental health can help control the increasing number of mental health issues in the country. SLBC News, Esther Sako reporting.
Mental health continues to be an integral part of our health. However, people struggling with their mental well-being often experience loneliness as a result of discrimination and stigmatization. To raise awareness about mental health, the Ministry of Health and Sanitation organized a radio campaign at the ACC Psychiatric Hospital. Julian Cromer has the details.
Did you know 1 in 10 people experience mental health problems? And you can have a mental illness without being sad. These snippets of information were on placards held up by people who have had mental issues but have found a coping mechanism to handle their mental health. Dr. Edward Naim is a veteran psychiatrist.
The mental health problem initially was not well understood. So they are taking mental health patients to psychiatrists, to traditional healers, to new healers, religious healers. But now that they understand a little bit about mental health, they bring them to the psychiatrist, to the mental hospital, and we treat them and help them and they get well. So mental health has changed a lot.
The theme for this year's mental health commemoration is mental health in an unequal world. The Ministry of Health and Sanitation and partners held this awareness campaign to change the perception about Kisii Psychiatric Hospital so people suffering from mental illness would get the necessary care.
Mental health is everybody's business. This is where we are here today, to make them feel loved, make them feel cared for, and let them know that we are here for them. This is why this year we celebrated in their own premises the Psychiatric Teaching Hospital. And you all saw what they did today. They are also like me and you. As long as you support them, they will do mighty things like they did today.
The Kisii Psychiatric Hospital has recently seen many developments to cater for present psychological illness, and it is deemed fit for people suffering from mental health issues to visit the hospital to get free medical care. SLBC News, Julian Kuruma.
Sierra's ambassador to Turkey, Mohammed Kaysamba, has discussed investment opportunities in Sierra Leone with Turkish influential business people. The discussion focused on the bilateral relationship between the two countries in the areas of education, technology, and agriculture. The president of the International Trade and Education Forum, Zeki Guvasin, said the organization will look into all the challenges that foreign students may be confronted with. Chairman of Board of Istanbul Sun General Trading LLC, Karim Ilange, said his organization works with the food security process and they have signed an MOU with Seaboard West Africa Flour Mill in Sierra Leone. They are going to build a new 20 metric ton pilot storage silo for wheat, as food security is of paramount importance in the country. Ambassador Kaysamba said he will support the International Trade and Education Forum to the fullest, as education is a flagship program of the president. He said without human capital development, no government will manage its infrastructure as technical as how it will be. He stated that Sierra Leone youth have talent, but the means of getting opportunities to develop their desired talent is the problem. And this partnership will be utilized and be of immense benefits to Sierra Leone. If you just tune in, you're watching news coming to you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, SLBC. And still to come in the news, President Bio penned his signature to the Abolish Death Penalty Act while sympathizing with citizens whose relatives have suffered from the 200-year-old law. And Sierra Leone Commercial Bank has joined the rest of the world to celebrate the 2021 Customer Service Week, the theme Power of Service. Keep watching the news here with me, Adam Asila. We'll come back shortly. Welcome back. It's still News Hour right here on the SLBC. We continue the rest of our news stories further. President Julius Maada Bio has stated that the all too familiar phrase of hanging persons, tying persons at the stake and gunning them down are cruel, inhuman and degrading for Sierra Leone as a civilized nation. He made the statement when penning his signature on the Abolished Death Penalty Act and sympathized with citizens whose relatives had suffered from the over 200-year-old law. Let's join our Musiri from all this.
Well, viewers, the death penalty has been finally and totally abolished as President Julius Maada Bio has appended his signature to the act here at State House. The landmark historic event was witnessed by diplomatic corps, international partners, ministers, parliamentarians, and other civil society here at State House. In the 1991 Constitution, the death penalty is mandatory for murder, aggravated robbery, mutiny, and treason. According to Amnesty International, last year, 39 death sentences were handed down, 21 in 2019, and 24 people were on death row at the end of last year. In July this year, Parliament voted in favor of a bill abolishing the death penalty. President Julius Maada Bio said he made a solemn commitment to good governance, justice, upholding, promoting and protecting the lives and rights of every citizen. Governance and justice sector reforms have opened more democratic spaces, unfettered free speech and expanded access to justice to deprived and underserved populations.
We are investing in people through quality education, quality health care, and food security. We are bridging the gender gap, social and other structural gaps that have long denied Sierra Leoneans the opportunity to be all they can be and contribute their fair share to a sustainable and inclusive future for our nation. But the real heroes of today are citizens who for 60 years have cowered in real fear of their inalienable and inviolable rights to life.
President Bio commended the international partners who supported and affirmed the drive to abolish the law in its totality, and members of the government and legislature who argued but stayed focused on passing this historic act of parliament that is being signed into law.
With the abolition of death penalty in Sierra Leone, we today assert our belief in the sanctity of life, affirm every citizen's constitutional right to life, and commit ourselves to a future of great optimism, social justice, and respect for all persons in our country. We share the core values and beliefs at the heart of all universal declarations of human rights and all international conventions and covenants, that condemning the death penalty today is the right thing to do.
Acting Attorney General and Minister of Justice Napoleon Koroma said a few months ago President Bio expunged the seditious libel law from the country's law books and has now done the same with the abolition of the death penalty. Chief Justice Desmond Edwards said that Sierra Leone has joined over 100 countries across the globe in abolishing the law and practice of death penalty. He noted that the death penalty is also sanctioned by major religions, adding that the death penalty was a way of life-threatening crimes like treason, murder and robbery.
Capital punishment was widely employed for murder, treason, arson and rape. The Romans also used it for a wide range of offences, and so too the British, from whom we obtained the Offences Against the Persons Act 1861. which prescribed the death penalty for the law of murder. Greece, UK, and Italy have all abandoned the death penalty. And in fact, All European countries have abolished the death penalty except for Belarus and Russia, for which there has been a moratorium since 1996. Following from the UK's abolishment of the death penalty in the late 90s up to today, the British gave us a legacy we are unwilling to abandon.
British High Commissioner to Sierra Leone Lisa Cheslin said that Sierra Leone has secured its place as a leading light for human rights in the region, something that the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres recognized and has commended President Bio for the bold steps. The process, she noted, has also demonstrated how Sierra Leone has brought together the end of political spectrum towards achieving a common goal.
When political differences are overcome by focusing ambition towards delivering against the needs of the people of Sierra Leone, great, exciting things can happen, as they have happened here. Working in partnership with experts, leading voices within civil society, such as Advocate and many NGOs, have made this possible. And it shows that your government has listened and responded to the needs of its citizens. Now, the UK is an ever-present ally in this, and we stand ready now to leverage our internationally respected legal expertise in support of your judiciary as they now work through the legal complexities of implementing the bill.
A representative of the Sierra Leone Bar Association, Abu Karim Kamara, disclosed that President Bio in his campaign manifesto promised to abolish the death penalty, and fast forward to 2021, it has been done, and described it as an historic event. Civil society representatives at the events.
Indeed, the people of Sierra Leone have collectively agreed that we should bring an end to death penalty. It is barbaric, it is cruel, it is inhumane. It has no business in a civilized, modern society like ours. For that reason, I'm happy. As you can tell, we're all happy. We are celebrating it. And let me say this to those who still think the death penalty is needed. We have evidence, huge evidence, showing that there is no nexus between the abolition of death penalty and the commission of heinous crimes. Absolutely none.
And for us, this is a welcoming call, and we want to see how Sierra Leoneans actually know that this is a game changer. President has done it again today. So for us, we are very, very, very much happy because it's like a new dawn, a new Sierra Leone in the making.
I mean, this is just exciting, you know, that we live in a time where all of these reforms are taking place. If you look at those of us who have been in civil society for the last 2 decades, this is something we've campaigned for, this is something we've pushed for, and for governments to want to do this, coupled with what has been done in the last few months, particularly when you look at the seditious and criminal libel law gone, and now you have the gender empowerment bill. So this is just audacious, and I think it's historical for all of us.
SBC TV News Eye in Freetown, our Mosiri reporting.
That's it. Well, if you just tune in, you're watching the news coming to you live in Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation SLBC. It's now time for us to go for some news around the African continent. And now for news around the African continent. 34 years almost to the day since the shocking killing of Burkina Faso's then President Thomas Sankara. 13 men are going on trial accused of complicity in the murder of the man known as Africa's Che Guevara. The charismatic Pan-Africanist was shot dead, aged 37, by soldiers during a coup on the 15th of October 1987, which saw his close friend Blaise Compaoré come to power. Mr. Compaoré is amongst the 14 accused, but he is currently in exile in neighboring Ivory Coast, where he fled after being forced to resign during mass protests in 2014. He has reportedly denied involvement in Sankara's death and is boycotting the trial. The former president's widow, Mariam Sankara, said she has been waiting for this for a long time. The head of Nigerian Quranic school has been suspended after a video widely shared showing students getting brutally punished. One clip shows 4 young men severely beating a young woman with stick-like objects as onlookers watch. The father of the student said he approved the whippings as the male and female students had been accused of drinking alcohol, but denied, saying they consumed yogurt at a birthday party. The video has been widely circulated online and sparked public outrage, with many Nigerians condemning the beatings. And finally, for some news around the African continent, prosecutors in Egypt have ordered the arrest of 3 people following the dumping of thousands of unused doses of a coronavirus vaccine near the city of Minya, 200 kilometers 125 miles south of Cairo. Images posted on social media last week showed piles of white boxes stored along the banks of a waterway. The authorities say nearly 20,000 doses of the Chinese-made Sinopharm vaccine, with a value of more than 300,000 United States dollars, equivalent to 220,000 pounds, had been allocated to the Minya Health Directorate, but had gone to waste after being stored at a wrong temperature. Only about 11% of the Egyptian population has received a first COVID jab, with about 6% being fully vaccinated. Well, that's it for some news on the African continent. It's now time for us to go over for some entertainment news. Let's see what's happening in the entertainment world.
Welcome to the entertainment segment of the news. I am Maria Tubukuri. In our entertainment headlines today, a Sierra Leonean based in the United States of America has been nominated in 3 categories in the Afrima Awards. And we are going to bring you updates on the upcoming Big Sister show and the ongoing auditions. A Sierra Leonean based in New Jersey, United States of America by the name of Nata has been nominated in 3 categories in this year's Afrima Awards, which are Best African Rapper or Lyricist, Best African Female Artist in Inspirational Music, and Best African Acts in the Diaspora. The nomination stemmed from a song done by her titled Art Thou. Nata is also a poem and a songwriter, and she got her passion since she was in 5th grade. Some of her songs include Rookie of the Year, Finally, Art Thou, etc. This is her first nomination in the Afrima Awards. The African Award is a joint effort by music professionals across the African continent with the sole aim of celebrating the rich musical heritage of the continent. The awards will be held in Lagos, Nigeria, and it's a 3 days long entertainment night, starting from November 19th to November 21st. Voting portals are now open for the Afrima Awards. You can go to www.afrima.org and click the Afrima voting and ensure to vote for Nata on the 3 different categories.
Yeah, our father who walked out took a lot to lay a verse down. Even think about the perks now. Still a pill won't heal the wise. Yeah, look, I'm coming through clean off the set. They looking at me like kettle, I steam yet the best.
Well, as stated earlier, the Big Sister reality TV show season 3 auditions has begun on Sunday and the buzz is already on. As disclosed, the audition would select just 12 ladies who would be entering into the house, and those picked will have to bring their besties along. Tune in to SLBC Channel 2 every day at 10 p.m. to watch the audition process. The judges are Aminata Adialim Bangura and Kamare Sarah Kamara, and here's a snippet of the auditions. And at the end of every audition, and the women revealed for this Sunday was Esther Thomas.
Right now, they are just
I know how to deal with people, I know how to talk to people, and I know how to render hospitality to different people right around the world.
To give my family the life they deserve, that's one. And I want to empower other women, that's 2. And I want to continue my education, that's, yeah.
So my name is Aisatu Bangura, popularly known as Isat. I am currently residing in London. I'm a musician, singer-songwriter. I dabble into production, and I love fashion, makeup. I like for dance, but I'm the first one that's going to tell you that I'm not a great dancer, but I love everything entertainment.
Hey guys, so I'm Mr. Thomas and I'm in the group for Big Sister Saloon Season 3 this year, bestie season. So yeah, of course, the popular lady on TikTok as known, you understand? So yeah, people know me for my creativity, me create stuff like me like
Now before I go, let me inform you that Majo Bona, winner of Big Sister Reality Show Season 2, had her baby shower this weekend in the United States of America with her husband. From the decoration, it indicates that Majo Bona and her husband are expecting a baby boy. Well, congratulations to both of them. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have in today's segment. Thank you for joining me. I've been Maria Tudukure. Keep watching the SLBC.
Many thanks to entertainment correspondent Maria Tudukure for today's entertainment news. And from entertainment, we'll go straight over to some sporting news. Let's see what's happening in the sporting world.
Sports updates on news in this edition of the Sport News. Over the weekend, Baibuwe Warriors defeated league contenders Bo Rangers in the Sierra Leone Premier League by a goal to nil at the Port Loko Mini Stadium in Port Loko. The match ended in violence. Francis Bernard has details of the story.
As the Sierra Leone Premier League continues across the country, many matches were played at different venues, with Eastern Lions Football Club and FC Cologne playing to a goalless draw in a dull encounter at the Siaka Stevens Stadium. In Port Loko, Baibuwe Warriors defeated Bo Rangers by a goal to nil in a match that ended in controversies. The issue of violence being perpetrated by some Premier League club supporters is becoming alarming. Baibuwe Warriors is one among the clubs whose home games usually ends in violence. Prior to now, their match between Eastern Lions Football Club was erupted due to supporters' violence. The incident on Sunday's encounter in Port Loko left Bo Rangers youngster Alusain Talibe Kamara seriously injured. Palis, a sport journalist who witnessed the match, noted that the match started in a peaceful atmosphere but was erupted by a spate of violence following a penalty awarded to the host by Baibuwe Warriors.
It was an across ball when the Bo Rangers player had wanted to clear the ball, but unfortunately the ball repelled from the hands of the Bo Rangers player right at the 18-yard box when the penalty was awarded before the penalty was taken. But the goalkeeper was in attendance. They saved the penalty, where the player that took the penalty again scored the penalty, because the goalkeeper, when he was repelled the penalty, he came back towards the player and the player took the ball back from him. So Bo Rangers did say that should not have been a goal, because the goalkeeper that saved the ball, the same player that took the penalty, should not take that penalty, should not score the ball again. But if the ball could have hit the bar or any part of the bar, that's the argument should stand. But it was a goal and the celebration.
The Premier League board is not expected to come out with a statement regarding the matter, even as the public is expecting swift investigations into the said issue.
The Bo Rangers fans, they went peacefully, throwing words, una forget say una get for comeback, doing the only who self will know what we will do now. So those are all some of the unfortunate statements. So that's why we are calling on the Premier League board to come up with a statement. And even some of these venues need to be banned or suspended temporarily.
Bo Rangers will be hosting the Warriors on the 21st November in the return leg match in Bo.
And in the international stage, Lionel Messi became the first South American to score 80 international goals as his Argentine side beat Uruguay in World Cup qualifying by 3-1. Captain Messi opened the scoring for his side with a floated cross that somehow invaded the goalkeeper. Argentina are now 24 games unbeaten, and their last will keep up the pressure on Brazil in South America's World Cup qualifying group. The victory narrowed the gap between Brazil and second place Argentina at the top of the 10-team group to 6 points after Brazil drew 0-0 with Colombia earlier on Sunday. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of Sport Update on News Hour. I am your host, Esther Marisa saying goodbye and keep watching the SNBC.
Many thanks to sports correspondent Marisa Mora for today's sporting update with us. That's it. And that's all we have time for in today's edition of News Hour right here on the SLBC. But before we go, here's a recap of our top stories. The Commissioner of the Anti-Corruption Commission presents the ACC Annual Report of 2020 to President Julius Maada Bio at State House. The European Union commences training for members of Parliament and committee clerks on the budget process and the review of the 2020 appropriation processes. And today is the International Day of the Girl Child, circulating around the theme for this year, Digital Generation, Our Generation. Well, that's it, and that's how we draw down the curtains on today's news broadcast. Many thanks to you for taking our time to join me here tonight on the SLBC for News Hour. Till then, have been your presenter, Adam Masilasi in Tata. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Do have a blessed and a pleasant week ahead. Stay blessed and keep watching the SLBC. Bye.